Good day, I am Alyssa Simahumot from BTL Ed 2A. I am here to discuss about what is corporation as a form of business ownership. So now, we will move on to the next slide. So, what comes up into your mind when you hear the word corporation? So, corporation is a legal entity created by individuals, stockholders, or shareholders with a purpose of operating for profit. A corporation can be created by a single shareholders or by multiple shareholders who come together to pursue a common goal. Corporation also possess many of the same legal rights and responsibilities as individuals. So it implies that corporations are allowed to enter into contracts, own assets, remit state taxes, and borrow money from the financial institutions. So, as with all the business structures, corporation also both as disadvantages and advantages towards the business. So, here are the advantages of corporation. First is the separate legal entity, which means it is independent from its owner and considered as a legal entity that may conduct business, own properties, enter into binding contracts, borrow money, and pay taxes. Second is the unlimited life. Unlimited life means that stockholders, shareholders, or members are the owner of the corporation and it is managed by the board of directors. Next is the limited liability, which means that the company owners are only liable for the amount they invested. Creditors and lenders have no claim to the owner's personal assets for payments owed by the shareholders. Next is the transferability. So it means that it is easy to transfer ownership shares. Next is the source capital. So the source capital implies that the corporation can be the source of funds from selling stocks and issuing bonds. Lastly, the competent management. So competent management implies that the investors or owners may not directly handle day-to-day business operations. So here are the disadvantages of corporation. First is the incorporation cost, which means that it is costlier to go through the process of incorporation than to form a sole proprietorship or partnership. Second is the double taxation, which means that the two taxes are remitted from the corporate earnings and from the payments of dividends to shareholders. Lastly is the documentation. Aside from incorporation documents, companies must file an annual reports and tax returns as well as to maintain the accounting records, licenses, and other important documents. Now we will go on to the important people and the rules in the corporation. First are the board directors. So board directors, these are the initial group of people that may be chosen by the primary owner in the beginning of the life of corporation. Later, as the company expands, the board can be elected by a group of shareholders. Second are the officers in the corporation. These are the people who are involved in the company beyond the routine board meeting. Lastly, shareholders. Shareholders are the group of people who hold pieces of ownership in the company. For a corporation, shareholders may have been given stock because of their support of the company. So what is the role of corporation in the society? Well, for me, in our society, corporation serve as our mainstream by which they play a very vital role in our lives. But for many, their sole purpose is to increase revenue. Still, it becomes such a huge players in the development of humankind that their influence is not limited to its financial nature. That's all. Thank you.